This is going to be a continuation to my purpose video. I had a couple of points I wanted to hit on. One of the points being personal belief systems and how they are sort of contagious. So when you're talking to somebody, they're explaining their view through their lens, which is very personal to them. And they think everyone else in the world sees things exactly the same way that they do. That's how we all are, otherwise we wouldn't have self-confidence. So it's kind of an unfortunate thing that has to happen, that we all formulate personal belief systems that don't really coincide with one another's belief system. So, and the root of the problem of differences between us, when we're trying to describe something, or we're trying to discuss a problem, or discuss an issue, or discuss whatever, the problem is that we're all trying to talk about things, stuff, situations, experiences, whatever, but we're doing it with language, we're doing it with words, and it's just a faulty system. It's imprecise, it's vague, it's ambiguous. Now, if your brain tries to understand what I'm saying while I'm talking to you, so I'm trying to, like Alan Watts would say, I'm trying to touch the tip of my tongue with the tip of my tongue, or I'm trying to see my own retina. I'm trying to explain the deficiency of language and words using language and words. So you have to be a little bit comfortable with paradox to kind of get the flavor I'm going for here. But to me, this is why we have so much separation, even within families or within groups, tribes, or whatever. I feel like the true communion and community comes from predictable sort of physical habits, predictable physical behaviors toward one another, and the language is kind of seen and known as inefficient and not to be relied upon as the primary form of communication. So to take this example a little bit further, you can take, for instance, the dollar bill, or just simply the dollar. Dollar is a universal measurement of value in the United States, and it's also accepted elsewhere. See, I'm trying to coin new words. Accepted. It's accepted elsewhere, and it's just kind of like English. It's becoming the common medium of exchange for value. English is becoming the common universal language, and the dollar is becoming the common medium of exchange. I guess you couldn't say medium of exchange. Medium of exchange would be like paper money. Dollar would be a type of paper money. But what I'm trying to get at is that the word dollar is trying to describe something. It wants to describe something, but we don't know what that thing is exactly. Like we have this dollar. We have the dirty green paper with old white dead people on it and pyramids, eagles clutching onto palm leaves and arrows. Not sure what kind of leaves those are, but pyramids with the Eye of Horus or Cyclops eye or whatever the fuck kind of eye that is. There's all kinds of magical symbology on the dollar and numerology that most people don't care about or understand or want to research about or anything like that. But that's aside from the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that we have this word dollar, and it is pretending to mean a specific thing when it actually can be applied to numerous different things. Only one of which is the actual paper dollar that you carry in your wallet. So that dollar is a paper dollar. That's one. It's a dollar in your bank account, savings, checking, whatever, credit. So electronic dollar, that's two. Dollars can be mental only. So if you have a car, you could calculate in dollars the value of your car, even though you don't have dollars, you have car. And then there's stock dollars, and that's perceived value, just like, you know, the value of your car. You have what's called equity. There's so many different things that the word dollar can be applied to, and so many different complexities, variations. There's so many, and yet when we say dollar, we think we know what we're saying really. Like, we think it really means a specific thing, just real specific. So it becomes problematic when everyone's word doesn't mean what everyone else's word means, even though it sounds exactly the same. Like, you could be saying dollar and you mean a hypothetical dollar that's part of a value judgment on your car, and I could say dollar and I mean that green dirty piece of paper that's sitting in my wallet. And Joe Blow could say dollar, and he's measuring a certain amount of equity that he has been told his house contains, that he can extract if he wishes to. So it's very vague and ambiguous. Just that one word, what it means. And not only that, not only is can the word itself be applied across numerous meanings, the actual value itself is not even constant. The value itself is changing with the breeze. It changes with public perception of how much things are worth, how much work is worth, how much your hours are worth. All that's changing and fluctuating all the time. So your dollar is just not a dollar. Who knows what it is? It's anything, you know? Piece of paper, dirty piece of paper, magical piece of paper, little numbers sitting inside of a computer that dictates your life, stock option, whatever that means. People have theoretical pieces of your theoretical business that know to magically depreciate in the computer when the business is doing badly, and then you don't have as much theoretical access to your theoretical money. It just breaks down at a certain point, and it ceases to have meaningful meaning. after a while, you're just playing numbers games. That can get exceedingly tedious and boring. Not to mention, it can be used to manipulate everything and allow certain people to be extremely wealthy while other people are extremely poor. This attaching of an actual value to a human being just takes the actual human soul or being the real part, the real thing, the real deal. Not the social security number, not the record, not the criminal record, not the not how many kids this particular individual has, not their phone number, not their address, not their zip code. See, all these identifiers, they have nothing to do with the being that lives inside the flesh bot. You know what I'm saying? Like, the being that lives in there is barely related to those things. The being is alive. And this being can either identify fully with all of these identifiers, these numerical identifiers that he or she has been given at birth, or he eventually gets sick of that and he notices that those things just are very meaningless to him. They don't have hardly any relevance to his day-to-day life, if any, aside from being interested in that, The being himself or herself or itself is always present and is always watching and looking, and there's a this system that concentrates on all this other stuff and neglects the living person, the living soul, the living entity, and purely focuses on track records and ID numbers and immigration status. Just drivel, this it's a silly thing. It's really silly. It's sad as well. It's sad that all of the beings have been reduced down to an age, a social security number, a bank balance, and maybe a spot within a family. The spot within the family is the best and most real part of all that. But all those numbers, these have nothing to do with you. Have nothing to do with me. So that kind of turned into a rant, didn't it? Yeah. Been feeling a little pissy lately. Quite a bit pissy, actually. If I could elaborate a bit on that, get it off my chest. My computer took a shit on the first day of class. It just completely died. The battery was working fine. The battery was dead. I knew that before I set out, but the computer still worked when I plugged it in, so it finally just completely died, and battery, plugged in or not, doesn't turn on. So that was the first annoyance. So I drove my ass all the way to Sacramento and I picked up my brother's computer, expecting that he would have a really nice computer. But Brian doesn't ever bother about updating his shit. He has a really nice car, but he has like an iPhone 4 and a 2009 MacBook. It's not even a MacBook Pro. I forget what it's called, but it's like the plastic white one. And it's incredibly slow. And so my plan was to work on coding a couple hours a day while I'm on my week of work here in San Francisco. And it was fine for the first day, but then today I got everything going, got the computer, found a Starbucks, got the computer up and running, and it just stayed frozen basically. that little spinning color wheel that Macs like to do when they don't want to perform work for you. I was getting that and I was unable to complete anything. I was unable to do anything with the computer. Maybe I can restart it, maybe not, I don't know, but I can tell that I need to do something about the computer situation. I do have a battery coming for my actual laptop that I have. That's a PC, not a Mac. And that should be coming next week, or hopefully early next week. But this is a 16-week boot camp. This is not something where I have the luxury of waiting around and twiddling my thumbs while the fucking machinery doesn't work. It's not going to work like that. I'm going to get behind, and then I know how. This is math and engineering, essentially, and learning a language. You can't get behind, otherwise you're not going to understand. You have to have the basic building blocks. So I'm going to, later tonight, or later in the afternoon, I'm going to bring that old white piece of shit Mac back to a Starbucks and try to get that thing going, just to get the classwork of the day done. And I really need like a brand new, not a brand new, but a MacBook Pro is what I need. Spend $500 or $600 on it, borrow from my dad or whatever if I need to for the moment, and just have a computer that works. So yeah, I've just been raging today, and being mad in general. Someone had an interesting idea for the flat earth people that follow my channel. Someone, I forgot his name. But he was talking about flat earth, and he was like, it's flatter than you think. As in, the flat earth is not even discussing the shape of place we're on or in. He's saying flat earth simply refers to a 2D reality being interpreted by the mind or by our brain or by the projection. He was he was saying that we are a projection from somebody sleeping in Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis, said go look up the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, or Thoth. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but looks like Thoth. Some people say Thoth. So I went and read those, and Thoth, I guess, figured out how to escape his body, go cavorting about the universe, finding things out. And he apparently inscribed his message in these emerald tablets that are like indestructible, and nobody knows how they were created. Or this is just stories to me. I don't know for sure if that's even true. It would be cool if it was true, but yeah. Thoth, when he in his Emerald Tablets, like number 7 or something, he talks about the hounds. Something about Thoth went too far. He opened a door he wasn't supposed to, and these hounds, these hellhounds, started after him. And he described it as the hounds travel through the angles, and he said he fled from them through space, through whatever dimension he was residing in when they started chasing him. And he said he had to escape through the circles or the round edges, not the angles. Just an interesting thing to listen to read. I don't know what to make of it really, but this is getting really rambling. Whoa, 20 minutes. Yeah, this has been quite a ramble and definitely a bit of a rant. As far as the coding itself, it's not been difficult so far, and whatever pace they're going at least for the first week, is it's just understanding basic structures, basic component aspects of coding, and very basic so far. And just setting it up on our particular computers. It's just that my computer taking a shit has put a block on my progression. So I've been quite upset about that, and the fact that I drove all the way to Sacramento and now this white computer isn't working correctly either. I've kind of accepted it at this point though. So, and also, if you guys can send some positive vibes my way, I'm not good at asking for help, but I guess I can do it anonymously to a video camera. So if you pray, send me some prayers. If you like sending positive vibes, I would appreciate those too. If you have any advice about the situation, let me know, and I'll let you go. All right, see you later.